Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT news. Plenty of updates today and some drama in the Tarik Pro City TenZ going on last night. Supposedly, certain teams, the Guard and NRG especially, have been dodging queues against players they don't want to play with in what is becoming an increasingly common phenomenon that isn't necessarily separating Pro City too much from the issues that ranked player had. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. First of all, the Squirtle Squad. Just a quick update here, confirmation that indeed they will be forced by the No Fun Police Nintendo to change their name, it seems. But also, Ludwig did comment on this last night. So we saw that he joined as a co-owner of Moist Esports. He actually commented on the whole Squirtle Squad thing last night and said that, you know, he's not sure yet. And obviously, it's quite a quick turnaround, really, for Moist Esports if they wanted to sign Squirtle Squad because they start their matches in just a few days' time on the 1st of February. And I don't think that Ludwig's necessarily convinced and needs to do more research and solidify if that seems like a reasonable idea to actually sign a VALORANT team generally. But, you know, Squirtle Squad are in need of potentially an organization, so it wouldn't rule it out. But Ludwig wasn't like, okay, yeah, so slam dunk, we're getting these guys. I think he's going to be a little bit more cautious, and I think for very good reason, because some of the salaries going around in VALORANT are maybe not so sustainable. Also, yesterday, Split back in the game, of course. We believe the first 2 weeks of Challenger action from the 1st through to like the 14th or whatever, right, the couple of weeks there, are going to be played on still the old map set of Bind and Breeze, and then after that, Bind is gone, Breeze is gone, Lotus is in, and then Split is in as well to the map pool. So pretty cool stuff. No massive changes, of course, to Split when they did that reiteration, really. Although, you know, so I think Sean Guest did a video explaining why these changes actually make quite a big deal to the way the map's going to be played. But I think for a more casual observer, it kind of seems like, you know, pretty similar to how it was before. But still a good map. I'm happy it's back in VALORANT, to be perfectly honest. Couple of quick scrim leaks as we talk about NRG. They were taking down the Breakthrough guys 0-5 or 5-0 last night. NRG, I think this is a couple of days ago now, and SR are up 4-1 on DSG, but obviously not too much of a big deal to mention there. But on the NRG side, did want to say what they thought about M80, because of course they're scrimming Breakthrough right here. But well, as Som says, if M80 loses even one map, I'll be shocked, or EU is just a scrimmer. So like, okay, look, the pros love tweeting stuff like this when they get smoked in scrims by a certain team, suggesting that that team is just absolutely going to be unstoppable. And look, we do believe that M80 is up there with the Guard and potentially a couple of other candidates to be the best team over there in challenges. And even Nismo says in the replies, you know, stop, NRG is going to destroy everyone in Brazil. But FNS agrees with Tom and says, yeah, these guys are unbelievable. So clearly they played a scrim last night against M80, and it either went rather badly for NRG, or they just felt like these guys there playing on a different level. And it does make for an interesting prospect going into challenges, right, given the fact that Group B has a lot of very talented teams in there, including M80. Even Chet, their coaches, they're literally walking on water. So, you know, what does this mean? How good are M80 going to be? I think that when they were initially formed, Nismo, and it's a lot of the former Ghost Core, really, they were expected to be one of the best teams in challenges, if not pro-level type of team, and clearly a lot of the pro teams have been feeling that so far. So whether NRG aren't actually, like, super good, or whether M80 are just unbelievable right now, we'll see. But of course, a long time still to go. NRG were relatively late to starting their practice anyway, and as Som says, literally sick, and I can't deal with this. So Nismo, of course, is going to fire back and say, oh no, it's actually you guys that are really good. But yeah, more than likely, Som is onto something here, and of course, that is aligned with the group they have with TSM, the Guard, M80. I know people have said over the last couple of days here that really, if you're Disguised Toast, if you're Dark Ratio, if you're Aura Esports, you're fighting for 4th place here in this group, because like the Guard, they won the Ludwig Tarik Invitational. M80 might be the best team in the entirety of challenges, and then TSM were also very good. They beat Sentinels at that tournament as well. So then you've got DSG, who you know, I would say that this group probably will end up with these 4 being the 4 teams that go through. It might not happen, right? Dark Ratio also could be pretty good, or Esports not bad either. But I'd say that these top 4 are probably the favourites here. Probably in a different order though, but yeah, whether any of these bottom 3 teams can get an upset win on any of the top 3 teams, that will be potentially the key decider for this group as the season goes. But I mean, yeah, top 4 advances to the playoffs is really what you're going for, but it's not going to be easy with a group as stacked as that one seems to be. Let's talk then about the Tarik Pro City 10-mans. This has been a big discussion of the last few days, potential issues that will arise. Hiko even mentioned as well that you know, he feels like Tarik should at some point hand the responsibility off to someone else to deal with this, just because it can be pretty tricky to deal with all the criteria of certain players being able to join in, right? So they allowed quite a lot of players in initially, and then Tarik a few days ago changed some of the criteria to limit the amount of players allowed in this Discord. So the idea is, right, that ranked play is a disaster. You've got crypto throwers, you've got people just throwing, no communication, running it down, all this type of stuff. So the idea was to replicate what the CS guys used to have at FPL or ESEA, for example, to you know, actually be able to let the pros play at TenZ, which is or 10 mans, right? Which is where you pick captains or choose anonymous teams, as we'll see in a second what Tarik says, and then play a game of 10 mans with actual communication and a much better environment than having to deal with all the problems in ranked play. Fair enough. Now, choosing which players are allowed in, not allowed in, is a very controversial issue. There's a council that Tarik has set up to decide this, but it's not easy to figure out, and some players clearly don't agree with some of the players that are allowed in here, and this is where some of the drama emerged. So what was going on last night was Tarik was mentioning that they're making the queues anonymous now, rather than you can see which players, and we'll see in a second, Marved here sees that some players on his team and on the other team, it's like, who are these guys? Why are they getting picked over me? And I'll actually discuss that clip first, I thought, from Marved, which I thought was kind of funny, really, because I know people are going to look at this clip from Marved and say, oh, you know, he's just trolling, but I think clearly, like, you know, to a certain degree, his ego was bruised a little bit by getting picked 6th or 7th or whatever out of all the players here, and he was like, oh yeah, they must not have known who I was just because my Discord name is different to my in-game name. And then he was looking up some of the guys that were getting picked ahead of him. It's like, okay, who is this guy? He's only got this amount of earnings. In fairness, right, Zekra, I think from Fortnite, he probably has more earnings than Marv does total given his Fortnite history, but I thought it was pretty funny regardless. So, you know, kind of indicative of what Marv is saying here with what a lot of the pros think. They look at some of the guys they're playing with, being forced to play with in these games, and are like, hang on a second, who is this guy? I don't want to play with this guy. And therefore, some of the pros will decide, you know what, screw this, I'm out. So I'm going to leave the queue, and I'll just try and search up again to avoid XYZ player. Now, this is a bit of a problem. Obviously, some of the pros think, you know, I don't want to play with someone that low skill. They shouldn't be here in the first place. But it's difficult, right? Because if you're a pro player, you're probably going to think that you only want pros in the queue. But part of the idea of this can be to help tier 2 talents play with the pros, get more experience, get more repetitions, get known by the pro players. But a lot of the pros don't exactly want that to be the case. It's pretty tricky to balance all of the different ideas here, all the different philosophies. The pros want it to be, you know, built for the pros, whereas there's another argument that Tarik is suggesting that actually it should be built for, you know, the entire Radiant-esque community. And Tarik therefore explains why the queues are going anonymous and also which teams were culpable.
Yo, I fell off! Yo, this is mad illegal. Holy shit. I actually fell off. I don't want to play this. I want to pug. I want to play rank. Oh, how am I 7th pick in this dog lobby? Who the Darkest? Let me search all these kids up one by one. Let's do that, right? VLR.com. Let's see. Zex Rowe. Anthony Colandro. No. You won a lot, dude. Hold on. Darkest? No. You are first pick. That's what you are. Yes. No, I'm just kidding, chat. I actually don't give a honest. I don't care. So, you know what? When people doubt you, you just have to prove them wrong, bro. Honestly. I don't know, bro. I cannot believe I was 6th pick. Discord name Pims. So maybe he didn't know. Maybe they didn't know it was me because my Discord name is Pims. He probably didn't know it was me, honestly.
So apparently we've been having some problems with people like queue dodging or trying to play with certain people. So we made it so that the queues are anonymous. I think it's a good change actually. So now it's like an anonymous queue. So like you don't know who's in there. People are dodging me.
My mouse.
I know. Stu does it once and then y'all change the system.
don't need them.
What, dodge the queue? It's not around Stu. It's around like other people have been doing it.
Alright.
Dodging queues and
I mean,
which I don't think is
Cypher.
cool. So
Cypher.
agree. It should be highest elo captains, right? Even though it's
I
fucked for the
definitely
highest
agree.
elo.
I definitely agree. I don't know why it's not like that, to be honest.
It got changed back because
you know what's
people
crazy?
didn't like it, but I
started crying.
yeah. Also,
There's only one person that complained about it, and it was Quan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have changed it, I think, but it's okay though.
I agree.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go back to highest elo.
It's fine.
And we also made it.
I think you reverted back.
Yeah, and we also made it so it's anonymous queue.
What do you mean anonymous queue?
Like, so you can't see who's in the queue because people are like dodging queues and being weird. So like, I feel like that. And also, people are like running 10 mans here, and I feel like if they're gonna just do that, they might as well just do their own 10 man. Like they're queuing up like 8 people at once. But I guess it's whatever for now.
Wait. Instead of saying people, you wanna
no, it's obvious what I'm talking about. I was talking about guard NRG.
Oh.
It's okay for now, but if they keep doing
it. But yeah, captain should definitely be.
Yeah,
like
we'll do captain's highest elo and then keep the queues anonymous. Yeah, because it's kind of it's like a top tier 1 pro and then it's like a tier 2 player and then top tier 1 pro gets 2 picks. It's just kind of
team did. Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
No, it's not drama, bro. It's no drama. I mean, I understand why they're doing it. It's fine. But if it like keeps happening, then I'm not gonna be a fan of it.
So pretty interesting for Tarik to mention explicitly that it's some of the players on the guard, maybe the entire guard team, or you know, a lot of the players on NRG. So that's obviously the likes of FNS, Victor Crashy, some artists potentially, and the guard guys in tier 2 also having a similar mindset of, you know what, certain individuals, if we see them in our queue, the way that it works, like we ain't gonna play with them anymore. We're just gonna leave, effectively abandon the queue and try again. Which yeah, it's a bit of a problem. But also he mentioned the fact that some players are coming in with like 8-man parties and just, you know, getting in there and queuing up on one team versus the other team so they can play with who they want and not have to deal with the anonymous stuff, which, you know, I understand it, but if they want to do that, as Tarik said, do your own 10-man queue, right? Don't use our Discord for it. If you want to come in with like 8 guys ready to go, just, you know, get a 10-man group together on your own and set it up yourself, right? Rather than kind of affecting what we're trying to achieve here. So it's definitely, you know, Tarik's done a phenomenal job with this. It's not easy though to manage all the different opinions that people are going to have, and also the fact that some of the pro players are deciding amongst themselves to actually, you know what, like screw this guy, we ain't going to play with him because we don't think he's very good. So that's the thing. I think Tarik's doing the right thing here, keeping it anonymous. The fundamental issue is actually figuring out which players you should allow in the first place, and if they can maybe solve that issue a little bit more, then I think they'll be in a better position. But I don't know, at the same time, some of the pros have probably got to realize, you know what, Tarik's done a great thing here setting this up. We can't just, you know, abuse that power that we have and the luxury that they have to be invited to something like this and be able to get out of the ranked queue, and they, you know, probably have to just deal with the issues to a certain extent, even if they don't love the way that everything is run by Tarik here. But I think on the whole he's done a pretty good job, and yeah, maybe this anonymous queue idea will make the pros think, you know what, all right, yeah, we'll just suck it up and deal with it. If I have to play with this guy, I have to play with this guy, and maybe it turns out to actually be not too bad. Just to mention as well, the Wise Men episode 2 is coming soon. Of course, this is the podcast that we shared a couple of clips of last time out. Hiko, Josh and Asuna, of course, that's Steel, Slasher, Sean Gares and Slicky. There's another episode tonight, 12 PM Eastern, if you guys are interested, on VALORANT.tv, and also on twitch.tv/Hiko, Steel_TV, and Sean Gares' Twitch channel as well. So very much interested your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.